season, and we are underway here at Spry Stadium. Happy to have you with us this evening on the ACC Network, alongside Casey White and Joe Malfa. And by the way, when we showed you the lineups, you weren't seeing double. You did see Maxwell twice, once on either side. Taylor Maxwell, the right back for Miami. Kylie Maxwell, the right winger for Wake Forest. Twin sisters on opposite sides. So we'll see if there's a set piece or a tactical switch at some point tonight that get them up against each other, where they have played against each other before in tournaments. And both, we're told by both sets of coaches, are ruthless and relishing the moment here tonight. And here is Kylie Maxwell on it. Kylie Maxwell, full out of steam, looking to send for Hannah Johnson. Across for Allie Flanagan, another bright freshman for the Demon Deacons. Sierra side. Side delivering, edge of the area, blasted towards goal, off the post end. Dream start for Wake Forest. Up a goal, a minute and 6 seconds in.
When that's what you want if you're Wake Forest, take the home advantage and continue to go into the attacking third. It all starts with Kylie Maxwell off the right side, but it's those second and third phases of attack that really are what help Wake Forest in this situation to get more numbers into the box. And Lola Wrestler is just in absolutely great form right now with her third goal on the season. She actually sets the play, gets it out wide to the left back, Sierra Side, who's in an advanced position, looks to take on, gets the cross off in this moment. It falls down, and this is not an easy finish. Lola Wrestler is completely unmarked. She hits it right on the bounce, goes off the post for a wonderful finish.
Earliest goal scored this season by Wake Forest. Earliest goal allowed this season by Miami. How's that for a start this evening at Spry? Wake are perfect this season when scoring first at 5-0-0, and this building has been a fortress for them ever since 2022. A record of 22-3-7, including a 9-1-1 mark last year. And there you see, perfect at home against Miami, 11-0-0.
Well, it's pretty impressive. We saw it earlier right before we came on about how young this Wake Forest team is, and a lot of times the beginning of halves, the end of halves, you need more experience to come out strong, and they certainly didn't. They came out nice and quick and were rewarded for it.
This is also definitively, Casey, a step up in competition for this Miami side. Yes, they're 5-1-1. The schedule has seen them at home a lot, and it has seen them against opponents that on paper you do expect them to beat.
100%, and that's where the real test comes in, not only because it's ACC play, but against a program like Wake Forest that has the experience they have.
Looking long here, the header deflected by the keeper Emerald, and she has it secured. Di Natale.
Well, this is nice for Wake Forest, having Dempsey Brown back in that midfield third. She's someone who really wants to set play for Wake Forest, does a good job in that holding midfield role, and now that they have that initial goal, they don't have to push, they can really settle in possession.
And Dempsey Brown, big to have back into the lineup here tonight for Wake Forest, and chatting with head coach Tony LaLuz. She was that sort of anchor on the back line previously, but the goal was always to get her to step up into the midfield, and she's done that now this year in a big way.
That's going to be important for them. She's really comfortable on the ball, but she also understands how to stay organized as well, and that in midfield for the way this Wake Forest team likes to play is huge.
Bree Severs trying to get that quick response, lays it back. Ava Mahoney pulls it wide, but some positivity in the moments after conceding here for Miami.
I think what's really nice that we're seeing from Miami is they didn't go into a shell after conceding that goal. They're actually stepping a little bit higher. You almost have to just start the game over in some ways. Yes, you're down a goal, but your game plan doesn't go out the window if you're Miami. Continue to go with what your head coach has asked you to do, press high, and see if you can make Wake Forest uncomfortable.
Using Sierra's side on that left side. Up to Allie Flanagan. The flanks are key in this game. You mentioned the formation when we showed you the lineups for Miami. They do play a bit of a diamond in the midfield. It leaves a lot of space in the flanks for Sierra side and Brooke Miller to exploit potentially for Wake Forest.
This really is a battle of which area of the field you can dominate and then which is more effective. For Miami, they'll have central overloads, a natural 4v3 in midfield just based on system, where Wake Forest can create overloads 2 against 1s in the wide space area. Now it's about who takes more advantage of that and who's able to be efficient when they get into those areas of the field.
MC Brown. Brooke Miller, a senior from San Diego in her first season at Wake Forest, transfer from Portland. Will start every game with 2 assists, looking to bend it ahead. Nice touching behind, carried by Kylie Maxwell. Maxwell still with it, checks her defender, plays it through in the area. That's 2. Just like that. Almost a copy and paste, but on the other side of the field, Lola Ressler with a brace.
The wide areas are what Wake Forest wants to take advantage of, and it was Brooke Miller that starts this entire play. Yes, a great finish by Lola Ressler, but Brooke Miller getting in an advanced position is able to penetrate, take space, and find freshman Kylie Maxwell higher up the field. She fights off Jessica Kay, who recovered quite well, keeps it in, and then has the wherewithal to be able to drop this back as everyone is retreating towards the Miami Hurricanes goal. The freshman gets around the outside, puts a perfect ball onto the ground, and a wonderful finish from Lola Ressler. You have to keep this low, otherwise it has to be in the side netting, but a great all-around build-up goal for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
First goal from the wide left side comes in, a right-footed finish for Ressler. Second goal comes in from the wide right side, a left-footed finish for Lola Ressler, and a smile on the face of Tony DeLuz as his side have a 2-0 lead inside of 5 minutes. Welcome in on the ACC Network. Wake Forest on the prowl again, looking through for Kylie Maxwell was Lola Ressler, who already has 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. Happy to have you with us now on the ACC Network with Casey White. I'm Joe Malfa. Well, apologies, you missed something for these first few minutes of the game already. Fastest goal of the season for Wake Forest, fastest concession of the season for Miami. And then just 2.5 minutes later, Lola Ressler found a second on a very similar looking play. Demon Deacons, number 18 team in the country, up 2-0 inside of 5 minutes.
What's really been impressive about this quick start is that both finishes from Lola Ressler were not simple finishes. They were from about 16 yards and about 18 yards. It took really good technical efficiency to be able to put them in. Really good build-up play, but you could have those opportunities and a finisher might not be able to put them away, but she certainly did.
Flanagan, one of the bright freshmen for Wake Forest again on her right foot. To fly, had it blocked. Maxwell battling. She's hacked at by Ali Flanagan. Able to get it clear. Miami responded well to conceding that first goal at a couple of moments up in the attacking third of their own. But the next time down the field, Wake Forest will tally on a second.
And they're going to have to be really careful because you don't want this game to get out of hand, and they want to stay in this as long as possible. Try to figure out a few things, not necessarily be conservative, but be really smart in your box organization and how you mark players.
Jessica Kay. Kay, block with the chest. Natalia Zadian. Change coming on here for Miami, so we'll show you how we got here. 2 goals in 5 minutes for Lola Ressler.
Well, the first one came from the left side. Sierra Seif getting forward. She hits it perfectly on that bounce for the half volley, keeps it low inside of the foot. And then just a couple minutes later, Kylie Maxwell off the opposite side finds a trailing runner in Lola Ressler for another very good finish.
That opening goal was the 5th fastest goal in program history. The second goal made it the 2nd fastest back-to-back goals in rapid succession in program history. So 2 top marks there for Wake Forest in their rich history. This one slipped through, trying to respond Caroline Hood. It stayed down, cleared out for a Miami throw. Crispy Nicholson subbed on for Nanaka Inaba. could understand a quick hook in a moment like that for Ken Masur, just needing to change something after seeing the way this game started.
Definitely, and Crosby Nicholson, very technically gifted on the ball, good in the air, but also that holding midfield role. Lola Wrestler just won the foot race to the ball twice to be able to get those 2 goals, put her in a position. So those runners out of midfield have to be tracked, and I'm sure that's something that Ken Masur has said to Crosby Nicholson as she enters the game.
Simpson back for Sam Morella. Looking long for Jessica Kay, too long as Ken Masur's side is trying to regroup here. Now 10 minutes in, down 2 goals, just in his second year in charge of this program. A 5-1-1 start, their best start since 2011. Their lone loss came on the road against Appalachian State.
And it has to be a disappointing start with how well they've done in non-conference play. But there is a lot of time left in this game. You're really just trying to settle your team, try to get that 1 goal back, and then work your way into the game. What you don't want is to be able to concede again. So the back line has to be really stingy, stay compact defensively.
5-1-1 start again, the best since 2011. When they get their 6th win, whether it's a comeback tonight or in the coming games for Miami, it'll be the first time they reached a 6-win plateau since 2018. That just shows you how much of a struggle it's been for this program and the foundation that Ken Masur is trying to develop for the Hurricanes. Emerald camped at the U17 and U20 levels for the United States, including starts at the 2022 U17 World Cup. Sierra side taking space to Ali Flanagan. Plenty of speed for Flanagan. Working on Maxwell. Flanagan delivering over Johnson. Coming in. Effort toward goal is shaved wide by Amaya Dawkins. First time got to call her name getting up into the mix.
That change of point from Brooke Miller is an area that Wake Forest can take advantage of just because of the diamond midfield shape of Miami. There's a little pocket of space on that opposite side that starts everything going. And now you see Amaya Dawkins joining into the attack underneath Lola Wrestler. So that tracking of runners in midfield for Miami and just the focus to stay with them will be important as they go throughout this first half.
Maxwell shouldering off Kay, and does better this time. Last time down this flank, Maxwell beat Kay and got the assist on the second goal. This time it's a point for Wake Forest.
Much better 1v1 defending. That's going to be really important with Ali Flanagan and Kylie Maxwell on both flanks. They love to go in 1v1 isolation, so those individual matchups are going to be huge for the Hurricanes.
In swinger, sent right back out her way. Misjudges the balance. Does well to win it right back if she can keep it in. Go for a throw. Wake Forest coming off a 1-1 draw against Brown. It's a result that Tony DeLuise was overall happy with. He feels that Brown is likely to win the Ivy League, so in the long run, that'll look good on their resume when it comes time for the tournament. But he felt there were some things they rushed in the final third of the first half, and they turned some balls over early in the first half that put them in precarious positions. Casey, through nearly 15 minutes, they have not been rushed in the final third. They've nearly given nothing away in their own half.
That's a very good observation. You're exactly right on that. And honestly, that final third efficiency is one of the last things that is to come for teams. And just a couple weeks ago when I spoke to Tony DeLuise, he said the ball circulation needed to get better. Now it's about the final third efficiency. So Wake Forest is growing and evolving in the things that need to improve in their attack.
And one thing that has remained consistent, though, their defensive prowess from last year. 3 clean sheets here this season. Pardon me, 5 clean sheets, 3 goals allowed. Add those backwards, don't want to shortchange them. So it's a .43 goals a game.
Not hesitate for a moment, and she certainly did a great defending there from the center back, stepping out of her back line and applying pressure. And Miami does look a little bit more lively. They haven't had a tactical change. They're still in that 4-1-3-2 with that diamond midfield. But when they're trying to build out of the back, Wake Forest, it seems like they're stepping a little bit quicker into the wide spaces to apply pressure. 2 and 3 players around the ball. So just trying to figure out how Wake Forest is trying to attack down those wide areas and trying to shut it down immediately.
In a game for Miami, number 11, Giselle Echo.
Giselle Uckle comes on for Caroline Hood. Hood's day may be done here. Uckle came in at the end of that first half. Didn't really get a chance to see what she could bring. It was a very brief first half cameo. But she's a very highly touted prospect here for Miami. The transfer from Flagler, Division II school. Last year, she was all-conference first team and freshman of the year at Flagler with 10 goals and 6 assists. Hasn't found her way out of the score sheet yet this season.
I love stories like this because everyone develops at a different time, and there's so many good Division II programs as well that have great programs and that are very successful, and then you get to see these players get next opportunities, and it just shows the journey that a lot of players can take to get to the next level.
Mahoney. Getting closer now, Miami. It sneaks through. Going to a goal. It's in. Flag stay down. On the road back. And right on cue is the substitute, Giselle Echo, with her first goal as a Hurricane.
The previous play is now under review.
Oh, hold on a second. We're going over for a review. I feel like that's
Actually,
Jessica Kay back for Ava O'Mahony. Options in the box and miscommunication with Severinsen given away.
well, this is where they need to keep it, Wake Forest, but then you just see that forced pass. It allows Miami to go the opposite direction. Mellon Horse is growing in this game.
Mellon Horse going for goal. Emerald lets it by.
And just like we spoke about early on in this game, it just always feels like it's going to take something special to beat Valentina Amaral. She just exudes confidence in the back. She reads things extremely well. And it's no surprise that the goal that did get past her was deemed offside, because it takes something a little bit extra, because she just shows what she can do behind the back line, and that helps them in their organization.
Yeah, it's almost at that point for Wake Forest where they've gotten such a defensive reputation. When a goal is scored, you almost expect it to not count for whatever reason. Be it foul build-up, be it an offside, be it a meteor striking down near the goal, like whatever it may be, you just expect it to have an alternative reason as to why it happened.
Definitely. And how nice is that, though, to be able to have that, to know that you can make a mistake or two, or something could happen. But normally, if you're giving up a goal, you just have to clap for the person taking it, because you know Amaral is really going to come up with some big saves.
Got 11 goals conceded all of last season, going all the way to College Cup. Floated in from the corner. Chance to just put this one through the traffic for Wrestler. It's blocked. After just giving up 11 goals all of last season, here they are almost through 8 games this season, having only allowed 3.
In a game for Wake Forest, number 9, Eliana Ramirez.
Eliana Ramirez into the match on the Wake Forest side. Ali Saleva for Ava O'Mahony on the Miami side. Sarah Greiner for Sierra Alarcon as well. Lola Wrestler, who's taken off for Eliana Ramirez.
And Eliana Ramirez had a really good showing versus Mississippi State when she came into the game, and that was their one loss of the year, but she came in and really did a good job in midfield, so not surprised to see her come into this game, try to put her foot on the ball and keep it in possession for Wake Forest.
Maxwell, Miller. Brooke Miller, good service. The header at the back post. It's Singleton. Got a piece of it there. Olafson couldn't keep it out. Allie Flanagan makes it 3-0. Demon Deacons.
The Wake Forest goal by number 18.
And again, it's the execution in the final third for the Wake Demon Deacons. Allie Flanagan keeps looking over, make sure this one counts. Her third goal of the season, and just so many different players contributing for this Wake Forest team.
And just like the one scored on the other end for Miami, gotta wait and see. They seemed adamant immediately, Miami. Let's see.
Well, this ball's played wide. There's a little bit of tackling going on. Allie Flanagan at this point is onside, but you just got to look to see if the back line was stepped. Oh my goodness. That is about as close as it gets. But then it's right here with Hannah Johnson. Does that hit Hannah Johnson? Is it interfered with? And did she get an advantage? That's what they're going to have to slow down and take a look at off of Hannah Johnson's head.
Well, last time you and I were pretty sure right away. I'll be honest, this time I have no idea. From that first look, I have no idea. I would not want to be the officials here.
The two things they're looking at is the initial service. I mean, it looked even from the viewpoint we have, and so that's an interesting one. So she would be on if it is in fact even. Then it's when there's a challenge with the header. Does then Allie Flanagan get another more advanced position if it does touch her teammate in that moment? So it's a really close call between this one.
And remember, if it's very close, which we believe it is until we see it again and maybe our mind changes on it, we believe it's a close call, and when it's that close, referees do tend to stand with the call on the field. They're looking specifically at the potential header on from Hannah Johnson. They deem onside from the opening ball played in right there, but again, there's a secondary touch, and the opening ball is rendered useless. It's right there. That flick on. Is she on? Is she off?
That
it's
left
tough
foot,
to tell.
It's hard because we're not right straight in it, but that left foot of Allie Flanagan does appear to be beyond. Her right foot looks even with Taylor Maxwell's. So by that look, it does look like she's offside from the angle we're getting. We'll see how it goes.
I think two things at work here. Number one, I agree with you. From the look we have and just context clues, we think she's a little bit off. But, again, unless it's conclusive, referees let it stand. It has to be conclusive. Was that conclusive?
Correct.
Is maybe the better question here. Well, here comes Nicole Green, the referee, to make the call. Let the coaches know and then let us know.
She gets a deflection off of a head. She's in an on-field, in an onside position the whole time. Okay?
And we have a good goal. Casey, I think I'm with you there. It's incredibly close on the glanced-on header there from Hannah Johnson. If you had that technology down the line, or the camera was positioned a little bit to the left, maybe we're having a different conversation, but referees judging it based on the video they have. The video they have is inconclusive. It stands as a goal. 3-0 Wake Forest.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. It has to be completely obvious to be overturned in that moment. And obviously they did not find that it was an obvious correction there needed.
And the emotional highs and lows of this sport. Just a few minutes ago, Miami thought they made it 2-1. A VAR check goes ahead and makes it 2-0 once again. Now here they go down 3-0. They think it should still only be 2-0, but instead it actually is 3-0. So, and that is this game in a nutshell. Sometimes can be cruel. Sarah Griner trying to get it back in quick order here. Comes back out for Crosby Nicholson. Left it in. That goal was close. Amaral gets there first. Severns looking for Simmons, who has a goal already. Noel Simmons trying to create space. Knocked away by Zadean. Morris going for goal. Just a courtesy look from Amaral. Now with a minute to go, it's in hand now for Wake Forest. They're going to start this year with a win in conference and 3 points. A conference they finished in second place in last year, losing in the semifinal of the tournament and a shootout to Florida State. This is a year that was supposed to be a rebuild year, but it's looking more like a retool year for the Demon Deacons.
They've been really great throughout this year, and I think tonight is a really good test. They get the win, but it's not without adversity, and that's what this team needs, is able to compete in ACC play. But a lot of real positives for this Wake Forest team, and still so much more that they can continue to grow in and be better and evolve as well. So it could be a really scary team down the stretch.
Two goals in the first 5 minutes from Lola Wrestler. That set the tone for the night. Wake Forest then made it 3-0 on an Ali Flanagan goal. Miami pulled one back for Noel Simmons, but as the clock winds down, it's going to be a 3-1 victory for the number 18 Wake Forest Demon Deacons to open ACC play in 2025.
This was a really interesting game. It had a little bit of everything. Wake Forest, the more efficient team of the two, but Miami showed some really bright spots, the way they defend, how they generate opportunities going forward, but still a good win at home for Wake Forest.
10th straight unbeaten at home. A perfect 12-0-0 at home all time now against Miami. We are standing by now with Lola Wrestler. Lola, it's Joe Malfa, Casey White up in the booth. We had a great conversation with your head coach, Tony DeLuz, this week, just about your growth as a player from last year to this year. Not playing last year, now featuring this year. And the thing he kept coming back to, he said you just do whatever the coaches ask of you. So how did it feel to get rewarded tonight with those 2 goals?
Yeah, it felt really good. Honestly, like starting ACC play at home, I thought that we came out really strong, and I thought it was really good for the group to keep moving forward.
Well, congrats on your first ACC win as a group. A lot in this game, got some goals, got tested defensively. What can you say about your team and how you're performing as a group?
Yeah, we definitely still have a lot to improve on. We're not at the level that we want to be at, but we're very competitive, and we have fought these.
Welcome back, Lola. You're back. You can start over again. You got to enjoy that.
Yeah, obviously we're not at the level we want to be at yet, but we still have grown a lot as a group together throughout this season, and we have a lot going forward for us this season, so we're super excited.
Lola, I'll say this to you, because the way your season's going, the way you're playing, you might be doing some of these interviews more often. Usually we ask you a 3rd question, but you're soaking wet and your team is celebrating, so go enjoy that instead.
Thank you.
Lola Wrestler, 2 goals this evening, made it 2-0 Wake Forest, and they go on to win it 3-1. Casey, it was thorough for the Demon Deacons.
It really was a very efficient performance from Wake Forest. Something they can take down the stretch and build confidence from. Miami as well. Just getting that last goal, I think, to make it 3-1 is something they can take going forward.
They'll do it for us here this evening from Spry Stadium. Coming up next, ACC PM with Kelsey Riggs Cup. The opening night of play in the ACC, and the 18th ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons get it done 3-1 over Miami. The crew that makes this possible, broadcast partner Casey White, I'm Joe Malfa saying so long for now, and welcome to the gauntlet that is ACC Women's Soccer Conference play.